really be interested in. And Sheila and I did this all the time, traveling, whatever. And we had an hour trip. So she thought she'd read it to me, so we'll read it both at the same time and see if we really liked it. And so we got off, we took off, heading out for the hour trip. And it got dusk real fast, and Sheila says, "That's too dark for me to read." So she stopped reading, and I was paying attention to the road, but all of a sudden we had skipped an hour drive in about 5-10 minutes, and because we were almost all the way through Salem, and we looked at the clock and what's going on, and it just really shocked us. And so that's how it started, was that 10-minute trip that normally takes an hour to accomplish. And we weren't speeding or anything. Okay, and so then after that, everything was normal. We just thought it was kind of odd. We didn't tag anything to it or whatever. But then it was in the middle of the night, about like 3 o'clock. And
it was on Halloween, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was Halloween, but it was
of Halloween.
And I got up to go to the restroom and turned on the bathroom light, and all of a sudden it went out. Oh. We were managing a retirement residence, and so that's dangerous because people get up to see what's going on, afraid there'll be falls and that. So I came in to see Sheila and wake her up and let her know what's going on. I said, I got to go out and check on the residents. And I got dressed real quick and went out to check on them. I found about 3 or 4 of them wandering around in the dark. And I led them all back to their different apartments. And then came back and it looked like Sheila was asleep. So I said, okay. And I laid down. As I laid down, I looked up. All these lights came soaring in, individual lights, through our closed window. And they were just buzzing all over the place. And I thought I was having a dream. And then there was this one light that looked like a rose, and it was spinning. And it came soaring right at me, right at my head. And then Sheila screamed. And I said, "Are you seeing this?" And she says, "The lights?" And I said, "Yeah."
Yeah. It's all different colors of rose and pink and every different color imaginable.
And so they didn't go away. They completely filled up our room, our bedroom. And it didn't go away until and then we fell asleep. Woke up the next morning, and we were off the next day, so we didn't have any hurries or anything to make sure we got to breakfast and that. But the lights were still out for breakfast. And, but then we went to talk about the one lady.
Oh, there was a lady that lived on the 3rd floor, totally deaf, okay? And she comes to breakfast that morning and she says, "What was all that beautiful music last night?" She's deaf. And we said, "What music?" She goes, "Oh my gosh, it was just so beautiful. I couldn't believe it." And it was the exact same time as we saw all the lights and all the colors and everything coming into the room. So that was the first time we figured, oh my gosh, something really happened. And the power went out, so that was the first thing that happened.
So then it was like within a day or two.
Oh, what I thought was a dream, that I was in this spaceship or in someplace, and the entities were all around me, and they said, "You see that bullet-shaped thing?" And they weren't really talking. They talked with their, with their mind or with.
There was a bullet that's about this long and about this round, and it tapered off at the front, so it would look like a shell of some sort.
And so they said, "Okay, you see this bullet thing? Once it goes into this compartment, okay, the ship is going to shake and vibrate so hard that it's going to feel like your teeth are going to fall out." And I thought, what? So it did, and all the jarring and the shaking. And so the next morning, when I woke up, I told David about it, and he just freaked out because when he was a child, he's probably told you that, he can tell you again, he had gone into his parents' room and seen the same thing and had never told anybody until I brought it up.
What had happened for me as a child, when I was small, about small enough so I had to slide out of bed. I wasn't in a crib, I was in a regular bed, but I had to slide out of it. And I heard this noise in my parents' bedroom. It was strange. It was kind of like a ooh, ooh. And so I slid off the bed and curiously, it didn't scare me, went in to see what it was. And there was this, like she described, this bullet thing, and it was lit up and floating alongside the bed. And it was projecting a light, the shape of the bed, all the way around and back again. I was just totally amazed by it. When all of a sudden, I looked to the left and I saw this giant entity. I would guess he was probably at least 8 foot tall. And he had these individual circles, 7 of them. I didn't know this until later because he came back in our life. But that went around the top of his head and they floated over his head. He had 2 eyes. He didn't have a nose and he didn't have a mouth. And but he communicated. It felt like it hit your heart chakra. It felt like a grabbing, and somehow you knew what he was saying to you. Well, he saw that I was a little panicked. He was standing there, and what he communicated to me was, "You're all right. Go back to bed." And I had no argument with that. Went right back to bed, you know. But as soon as the light was gone and the noise was gone, I ran into my parents' bedroom. He was gone, and I hopped into bed with him. But I never shared it with anybody till she told me about her experience. And it wasn't that I didn't want to share it with anybody. I never thought of it when I was around people. But every time I was by myself when I thought of it, I'd tear my parents' bedroom apart looking for that silver thing. And so that was that experience.
Did you ever ask your parents?
No, I did after we were together, but I never thought to ask anything about with anybody because it didn't come up when I was with people. It was like it was a block from my memory or something. And for some reason, it just released when Sheila told me.
And so the entities that you were dreaming about on board, what did those entities look like?
I don't remember. I don't remember seeing them. I just remember hearing them talking to me. I had what I thought again was a dream, and I dreamed that they were putting incisions in my wrist, 2 here, 2 here, kind of almost like snake bites or whatever. And I said to them, and I never heard them talk to me. It's like he said, it's all talked through like the heart chakras. And I said, "You're not going to do any anesthesia or anything? You're just going to do this?" And they said, "Yeah." And I thought, okay. So I woke up the next morning, I got in the shower, and there were bruises on my wrists where they did this supposedly, on my wrist. I'm like, that was a dream. And so I screamed, I told David, "Oh my gosh, it's really there. The bruises are really there." So that was my second encounter with them.